Honorable colleagues, my name is Hon Oladipupo Adebutu, representing Ikene, Shagam, Remo North Federal Constituency of Ogun State. The House knows that Nigeria has a thriving film industry which over the last 2 decades has grown into a globally recognized phenomenon that has seen the creativity of Nigerian filmmakers explode on cinema and online platforms, leading to accolades from Toronto International Film Festival and local artists receiving awards on the international stage. Also notes that the industry attracts positive international media coverage for the country, and due to its dynamism and content, it is rated as highly as Hollywood and Bollywood. In addition to its contributing about 3.3 billion to the nation's gross domestic product, aware also that the sector employs 1 million people directly and indirectly, promotes and drives local and regional tourism, as well as attracting interest in rural areas and cities, such that as far back as 2008, the industry had consistently produced 2,000 titles every year in Nigeria's 3 major languages. Also aware that as a consequence of its indigenous content, it serves as a channel to promote our rich cultural heritage, diversity and nuances, recreate social political storylines, cultural practices that are relevant to everyday situations, and this high level of productivity has battered a pool of creative talents and broad skills base, while creating high demand for Nigeria's films in Africa, Europe, and the Americas. Further notes that during the last Festival of Indigenous African Language Films held in Akure, Ondo State, it was concluded that Nigeria's motion picture industry will give our indigenous languages a boost by way of preserving our rich cultural and linguistic diversity, thereby saving them from extinction. Equally notes that the importance of entertainment industry to the economy on its exports of services platform is evident in government's $200 million endowed entertainment industry fund, also known as the Activating Creativity and Technology in Nollywood Project, ACT, which was created as a cash grant for the development of creative arts in Nigeria. Concerned about the rising trend of foreign language films being dubbed or revoiced into Nigerian languages, especially Yoruba, Hausa, which presents danger for our cultural values and heritage and undermines the domestic creativity arts industry vision to document and express Nigerian cultural values and tell our stories to the world through films and TV drama series. Also takes jobs away from the youths, discourages attempts to ensure the survival and productivity of indigenous films, devalues our mother tongue, erodes our skills, divisions to inform the Nigerian film industry from a creative industry to a creative economy. Also concerned about the recent outcry of the Theatre Arts and Movie Practitioners Association of Nigeria and the Conference of Indigenous Language Films Practitioners on the onslaught of this trend utilizing the direct-to-home pay TV scheme. Further concerned that producers, marketers, and filmmakers will be faced with the decline of their creative work in indigenous languages, leading to the undermining of the instrumentality of language as a preserver of cultural heritage. And that Nigeria should not overlook the importance of its indigenous languages as a unifying factor for mobility and intercultural understanding, more so as this preserves a native rural harmony. Results to 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture to A, direct relevant agencies to put in place monitoring mechanisms to determine the extent of the problem with a view to mitigating these extraneous influences for the protection of the industry and preservation of our indigenous languages and culture. B, ensure policies that will help our languages and heritage, keep our languages and heritage alive in the creative and intellectual sphere through the medium of indigenous language films. C, ensure that adequate protection is given to the sector as a means of promoting rural dwelling, as often the film location is set in the rural areas, thereby promoting income and recreation. And number 2, mandate the Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Value to ensure implementation and report back within 8 weeks for further legislative action. Honorable Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Honorable Kulle, I'm sure you don't want to turn it into an Ogun motion.
Take much of your time. I'll just lay emphasis on 1 or 2 things. The first thing is I truly believe protection of our languages, our indigenous languages, they're a bastion of unity. They can actually unite the nation if we continue to use these languages and share them amongst ourselves. We'll have insight into various...
No party meeting, please. No party meeting.
Sir? Secondly, sir, I appeal that we are able to create models where standards are provided that will enhance protection of this industry and the languages. Thank you, sir.